She is not going to walk up to you, look you in the eyes, and say, "I love you. I chose you. You are the one." That is not how this works. Most women will never say those words first. But here is what they will do. They will show you. Quietly. Repeatedly. In ways that most men completely overlook because nobody ever taught them what to look for. And that is the real problem. It is not that women are complicated. It is that men are untrained. They are waiting for a confession when the woman has already been communicating for weeks. Right now, there may be a woman in your life who has already made her decision about you. Already. And you are sitting there wondering if she even notices you exist. That is what this video is going to fix. Today I'm going to walk you through 8 specific things a woman does when she has quietly, deeply decided that she loves you. Not likes you. Not finds you cute. Loves you. These are not obvious signs. These are the ones that live underneath the surface. The ones that separate the man who eventually gets the girl from the man who spends months in the friend zone wondering what went wrong. Stay until the end. Because after the signs, I'm going to tell you exactly how to respond when you see them. And that part matters just as much. Let's get into it. 1. She remembers things you said once and never repeated. You mentioned your favorite childhood meal in a passing conversation 3 weeks ago. You forgot you even said it. She did not. She brings it up later. Casually. Naturally. Like it was important to her. That is not a coincidence. That is not a good memory. That is a woman who is paying attention to you on a level she does not pay attention to most people. Because when you love someone, their small details feel worth keeping. Their words matter. Their story matters. A woman who feels nothing for you will not store your details. She will hear you and move on. But a woman who has quietly chosen you starts building a mental picture of who you are. And every small thing you share becomes a piece of that picture. So when she remembers, understand what that memory actually represents. It represents interest that goes beyond the surface. And what comes next is even harder to fake. 2. She becomes noticeably different when another woman gets close to you. Watch this carefully, because it is one of the most honest signals she will ever give you. She could be completely relaxed around you. Laughing. Comfortable. Herself. Then another woman enters the picture. Stands near you. Gives you attention. And something shifts. Maybe she goes quiet. Maybe she becomes slightly more deliberate about her own presence. Maybe she positions herself closer to you without being obvious about it. Maybe she suddenly finds a reason to enter the conversation. She may not even realize she is doing it. But her emotions are reacting in real time. That reaction is not insecurity. That is protection. That is a woman who has emotionally claimed you on the inside, and her behavior is starting to reveal what she has not yet said with words. A woman who does not care does not react. She will smile at the other woman and walk away without a second thought. But a woman who loves you, her body responds before her mind gives her permission. Pay attention to that moment. It tells you everything. 3. She checks on you when you are going through something hard. Not when life is good. Not when things are easy and fun. When you are struggling. When you have had a bad day. When something is clearly off. That is when she appears. She sends a message. She asks if you are okay. She remembers that you mentioned something difficult and she circles back to it. She does not disappear when the energy around you gets heavy. This matters because attention is easy when everything is exciting. Showing up when things are hard is a choice. And women do not make that choice for men they feel nothing for. They have their own lives. Their own stress. Their own problems. But when she consistently checks on you during your hard moments, she is revealing something real. She is saying, without saying it, that your well-being is connected to hers. That what happens to you matters to her personally. Most men brush this off as kindness. Do not make that mistake. Kindness is general. This is specific. This is directed at you, consistently, and that is not random. And then her behavior shifts in a way that is impossible to ignore. 4. She starts defending you when you are not in the room. You find out later. Through a mutual friend. Through something she said that gets back to you. Someone made a comment about you. Questioned your character. Doubted something about you. And she did not stay quiet. She spoke up. She corrected the narrative. She stood in your corner when you were not even there to see it. That is not something women do for men they are casually interested in. That takes something deeper. That takes a feeling of loyalty that has already formed inside her. When a woman loves someone quietly, she starts protecting them quietly too. Before any label. Before any official conversation. Before the relationship is defined. She is already acting like someone who has a stake in who you are and how the world sees you. And that level of quiet loyalty is one of the most powerful signs that something real is growing in her. 5. She starts picking up your habits, your language, your energy. You notice it one day. She uses a phrase you always use. She starts listening to something you recommended months ago. Her tastes start shifting slightly in the direction of yours. Psychologists call this mirroring. But when it happens naturally, over time, without effort, it is something more than a social technique. It is influence. It is the result of someone spending enough mental and emotional time with you that your world starts bleeding into theirs. She is not copying you. She is being shaped by how much space you take up in her mind. Because when a woman is truly drawn to someone, that person becomes a reference point. Their opinions matter. Their preferences feel worth exploring. Their world starts to feel like somewhere she wants to belong. When you see her picking up pieces of who you are, understand this. You have already taken up real space inside her. And the next sign reveals just how much that space has grown. 6. She tells you things she says she has never told anyone else. She is not performing. She is not trying to seem deep. She just says it naturally, almost surprised by her own honesty. I have never really talked about this with anyone. And then she tells you anyway. This is not small. This is a woman lowering a wall she keeps up around everyone else. And she is lowering it specifically for you. Women do not do that by accident. They are careful with their vulnerability. They know that opening up creates risk. And they only take that risk with someone they trust on a level that has already gone past ordinary. When she starts sharing her private world with you, the parts that are raw and unpolished and real, she is not just being open. She is placing trust in your hands. She is inviting you into the part of her that she does not show the world. That kind of openness is built on something deeper than attraction. It is built on love that has not been announced yet. 7. She brings you into her future without making it obvious. She is talking about a place she wants to visit someday. And then she says it. Almost casually. You would probably love it there. Or she mentions a restaurant she wants to try. A show coming out. A season she is looking forward to. And somehow, without directly asking, you are included in the picture she is describing. This is not small talk. This is a woman whose imagination has already placed you next to her in the future. People do not do that with people who are temporary in their minds. You do not imagine someone in your future unless some part of you has decided they belong there. She has not said, I see a future with you. But she is quietly building one in her head and showing you glimpses of it in conversation. If you are paying attention, you will catch those moments. If you are not, you will mistake them for nothing. 8. She gets nervous around you in a way she never used to. In the beginning, maybe she was relaxed, easy, casual. But something shifted. Now she stumbles on her words occasionally. She becomes more self-aware when you are close. She laughs a little too quickly. She fixes her posture without thinking about it. She becomes more careful about what she says and how she says it. And some men see this and think she has become distant or uncomfortable. No. She has become invested. That nervousness is not fear. That nervousness is the feeling of someone who now has something to lose. And you only feel that way around someone who matters. When a woman becomes slightly more careful, slightly more aware, slightly more electric around you compared to how she is around everyone else, that difference is the sign. You are not just a person to her anymore. You are someone she cares about impressing. Someone whose opinion of her has weight. And that weight? That is love trying to stay quiet before it is ready to speak. Here is where most men destroy everything they have built. They see the signs. They feel the energy. They know something is real. And then they do nothing. They wait for absolute certainty. They wait for her to say the words. They keep the dynamic comfortable and safe because they are afraid of being wrong. And while they wait, the window starts closing. Not because she gave up overnight, but because a woman who is quietly in love with a man who never moves eventually starts protecting herself. She starts pulling back. She tells herself she imagined it. She convinces herself she was foolish for feeling something before it was confirmed. You do not want to be the reason she does that. So here is what you do. You pay attention to the pattern, not just one sign. You look for these behaviors repeating. And when you see them repeating, you get more intentional, more present, more real with her. You create space for honest conversation. You let her feel safe being seen. You show her that you are paying attention, that you notice her, that she is not imagining things. You do not rush. You do not panic. But you do move. Because love, when it is quiet and unconfirmed, is fragile. And the one thing that turns that fragile, hidden feeling into something lasting is a man who recognizes it and meets it with courage. Be that man. If this video helped you see something you were previously missing, share it with someone who needs it. And if you want to go deeper into understanding how women think and how to build real, lasting attraction, subscribe. There is a lot more coming on this channel that you do not want to miss. The next video, it is going to cover something even most experienced men get completely wrong. See you there.